A horrifying new claim is sending shockwaves through Washington tonight, and it involves what must be the most heartbreaking scandal of Joe Biden's presidency. But before we get into the story, please like, comment, and share to help explain America's fight for truth in the face of media complicity. According to former White House senior advisor Stephen Miller, the number of migrant children trafficked into the U.S. and vanished under President Biden is not 320,000 as previously estimated. It's closer to 450,000. Let that number sink in. 500,000 children, many of them alone, frightened, abused. They haven't been heard from again. And the Biden administration doesn't have any answers. They don't feel guilty about it. They don't care about these children, just like they don't care about the American public. Everything is politics with these people. And it's quite monstrous. I mean, really, the Democrats' silence about abused children in this country, like, put abortion aside for the moment. I mean, we have our differences about abortion. Certainly, a lot of people believe that life begins at conception. Others believe it starts with a heartbeat. It's a controversial topic. It's sensitive, but, that doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it. But this is really such a clear-cut case of malfeasance, abuse, and potentially nefarious political motives that you just can't let this slide. In the media, if you're not talking about this, or at least investigating this, and sure, be critical. Look for ask for the lists of all these children, or the evidence that contextually makes it at 400 to 500,000. Look for all of that evidence, and sure, be critical about it. But to ignore this story, that says a lot about you, and maybe you need to look in the mirror. Well, Stephen Miller, he put this really stark and in a blunt fashion. He said, quote, "If you put a child in a truck and cross state lines, you'd be charged with trafficking. But the Biden administration trafficked 500,000 children and helped them disappear. That is criminal," unquote. According to Miller, this wasn't just incompetence, it was intentional policy. He accused the White House of dismantling Trump-era protections, allowing tens of thousands of unvetted sponsors to take custody of unaccompanied migrant minors with little to no follow-up, no background checks, no real safeguards. The Biden administration ended large parts of the vetting and verification process that was used to track these children. In some cases, Health and Human Services handed them over to sponsors without even confirming any identities. No legal guardianship, no background checks, just a name and a phone number. And now we're learning that even Democrats behind closed doors are worried about the consequences. Back in 2023, whistleblowers inside the Department of Health and Human Services testified that children were being released to traffickers, put to work in sweatshops, abused, and sometimes never found again. It made headlines for a week, and the media moved on. But Stephen Miller didn't. Watch him really lay out this horrendous scandal.
We now believe the true number of missing children that Joe Biden trafficked into the country, the Democrats trafficked into the country, is 450,000. Not 320, wow. 450. The Democrats have committed crimes for which they can never be forgiven, Sean, and Donald Trump is cleaning it up. Donald Trump is cleaning it up right now.
Miller also confirmed that Trump is now drafting a new executive order aimed at cracking down on sanctuary cities, many of which refuse to cooperate with ICE and DHS, making it even harder to track down missing children. Let's be very clear. Under Trump, border security, including biometric screening, DNA testing for family unions, and expanded ICE detention capacity, it's been helping, along with the mandatory tracking of released minors. The Biden administration reversed most of that, and now we're staring at the consequences. 500,000 children? Many of them lost to the system? What are we coming to in this country? Some of them are working in factories or in gang-controlled neighborhoods. Some may be in the hands of abusers or traffickers. Where's the outrage? Where are the headlines? If these numbers are accurate, even half of what is reported to be the case, it's the biggest child protection failure in modern American history. We need answers about this.